Hi, welcome to this special edition of the G.A.M.E podcast. Today we are talking about a very particular case.
A case where, 10 years ago, 3 teenagers found something really interesting.
Hi, this is Gabrielle Vincent and Elizabeth Roy, hosts of this podcast.
Let's start. We are here today in presence of Grace, who'll talk about how her story began. Grace, tell us about it.
So everything began when I was in a thrift shop with Rylan, my best friend. We were looking for an Halloween costume. He wanted to be James Bond. We were able to find everything, but the only thing that was missing was the jacket. After some digging, we found the perfect jacket, but it was also the one that got us into trouble. Then we checked to see if it was dirty and in good condition.
That's when you found the secret pocket. Am I right?
Yes, it is. Inside, there was a wallet with a USB flash drive, a driver's license, and 2 golden rings that seemed really expensive.
Interesting. What happened next? Weren't you suspicious?
Of course I was, but Rylan always loved a good mystery. I couldn't let him do the research alone. So we went back to his house and we checked what was on this strange flash drive. Inside, there was a video of a random guy talking. It was addressed to a woman in a retirement home. Her name was Gabriella, and her address was written in a Word document.
When and how did you find out who was the man?
After watching the unusual recording, we realized that the flash drive was also carrying a virus. Rylan's computer was completely destroyed, so we needed a new one.
That is when the teenagers asked Rylan's childhood friend, Justin, for help. He was the person he trusted the most, and he knew he could help them for solving this mystery. He suggested to go see Juliet, a woman working at the library.
After the interview with Grace was complete, we talked to Justin. We wanted to know why Juliet. Why her?
She was known to be caring, and we knew that she wouldn't mind us using the library's computer. We used that opportunity to search the name on the ID, Joshua Angelico, and were extremely surprised to see how many news articles were about him. He was responsible for a big jewelry theft. The jewelry found was stolen from the mayor's wife.
After, did you go see the police, or you kept this situation for yourself? How did you feel about it?
We didn't want to get involved with the police. Plus, we wanted jewelry. Just by looking at it, we knew it was worth a lot of money. The problem was that after what we saw at the library, that this whole thing could be dangerous. And we were right. Rylan's mother found a USB flash drive. She thought his son was involved in the robbery. She threatened Rylan and told him that she would go to the police station to show all of the evidence we have. The rest of the story is his to tell.
My mom always panics like this. I understand, I really do. She's a mother, but it's not a reason to throw all my video games out the window. And she nearly called the cops.
How did you calm your mother down?
I left the house and went to Grace's. My mom needed some time alone. I know that if I had tried to reason with her, I would have gone out the same way my games did.
That was Ryland. According to what we heard, he was the one that had the most trouble during this whole adventure. His friends were scared that taking the lead after the incident was too much for him. That is why they both decided to take the matter into their own hands. Justin, what was the next step?
Honestly, we did not have a plan, but we knew we needed to move faster now that Rylan's mother was on our back all of the time.
Improvising. Okay.
We went to see Mrs. Hortensia, our neighbor, for help. Grace wanted to see Gabriella, the elderly who lives in a retirement house, but we didn't have a ride. Mrs. Hortensia accepted to bring us to her.
How did you convince her? Wasn't she suspicious?
I told Miss Hortensia that it was to see my grandmother. I'm surprised she believed me because I'm a very bad actress. When we arrived at the retirement home, we directly went into Gabriella's room. I was nervous that the workers would ask us questions, but they were very nice. After arriving in her room, I asked Gabriella everything we needed to know. How did she know Joshua? How and why did he stole the jewelry? Where is he now? Why was it in a thrift shop? And surprisingly, she knew all the answers while Miss Hortensia was really confused. At the end, Gabriella gave us a code and told us it was for a storage locker in town, number 4882509.
You asked questions. What was her answer?
Joshua was her adopted grandson, and sadly, he died. Gabriella joined him the day after we met, but he was not a bad guy. Gabriella knew the mayor's wife. She kept bringing around the jewelry the mayor accepted as a favor, and it wasn't just a pair of earrings, at least $15,000 worth of it.
What a huge amount. Ryland, what were Justin and you doing while Grace was visiting Gabriella?
We went to the mayor's house. We wanted to try to understand Joshua's motivation to steal the jewelry. We had to take the bus to go there. Unfortunately, we had to take some of Justin's pocket money. I didn't even know he had money. His family is so poor. I think I was the first one he ever told.
Did you learn anything there?
Well, when we got there, we were just impressed. The mayor's house was really big. Some police cars were parked in the front of the house, so we needed to be discreet. We started to wander around the house to see if we could find an employee that could answer our questions. Luckily, we saw a gardener cutting roses. When we approached him, he was really welcoming. He told us the whole story about Joshua.
Joshua was the mayor's maid. He discovered the mayor's crime while cleaning the drawers. To clean the inside, he needed to open them. One of the drawers was supposed to be locked, but this time it wasn't. Joshua opened it and saw all of the jewelry. He knew that this jewelry was the one that the mayor had received as a favor.
Did he steal it?
Since he was a housekeeper, he had a lot of cleaning supplies. He put gloves on, took a garbage bag, and put the jewelry in it. He then put that bag on the last shelf of his cleaning cart.
Gardener explained that the mayor contacted the police after he realized that all of his precious jewelry had been taken. He immediately accused Joshua. After hearing that, Ryland asked the gardener if he knew where the bag was. Unfortunately, he didn't know, but we later found out.
They already knew where the locker was located. The teenagers just had to find what the code meant. After some thinking, they discovered that it was a date. The date the locker would be auctioned. They had a plan. Go to the locker and buy it. The problem was they were too late. The storage facility closed at 9 p.m. and by the time they understood the code, it was already 10. The trio decided to go the next day.
I remember that Mother Julian had a secret place where she hid some money. Enough money to buy the unit. We borrowed it. I felt bad, so I left a note. I signed my name and we left.
The only thing in the unit was a garbage bag covered by a sheet. Because the items were not interesting, the price was not too high. We were able to buy it. We waited for everyone to move on to the next unit and started to open the bag. It was all there. Necklaces and earrings, gold and diamonds.
What did you do with the jewelry?
Justin's foster family was really poor. Grace and I knew he needed it the most. We were able to find a buyer for the jewelry easily on the internet. We were really lucky.
How much did he pay?
$40,000. We still lost 10,000, but it doesn't matter.
Wow. I have one question left. What did you do with the money?
First, we returned the money we borrowed from Juliet, and the rest went to Justin. His family was able to move in a bigger apartment. His parents did not have too much question about the origin of the money. Oh, and they adopted Justin.
What a happy ending.
A big thank you to Grace, Rylan, and Justin.
Thank you for listening to the G.A.M.E podcast.
See you next time.